What's up, internet? Matt here, and I want to tell you about the iPhone 15 Pro that I've had for 1 week. Now, I typically don't do 1 week reviews, and I'm still holding out for more details on this phone, but I wanted to share some early thoughts that I've had so far, and I think that it might be some reasons that you should upgrade. So let's get into it. This might be a reasons why you should upgrade and also reasons why you won't, but I'm just gonna get into some observations that I've had over my first week with the iPhone 15 Pro. Now, I've recently downgraded from the 14 Pro Max. That means I'm going with a smaller phone, smaller screen, smaller battery size, and basically a little bit of a lesser camera. But I think that if you do not care for the larger size and a larger battery or even the better camera, the Pro model, the smaller Pro, is a great option, and you still get a lot of the great Pro features, the high refresh rate display, also the better cameras, and the awesome USB-C port with the fast speeds. Now, that's crucial for certain people. Not everybody really needs it, but I want to get into the first thing why you should upgrade, and that is the USB-C port. So the USB-C port is nothing new. Everybody kind of calls it an Android port or an Android charger. I have so many things in this house and all around me that use USB-C, including Apple products. Most Apple products these days do use a USB-C. There's probably a few things like the Magic Trackpad and Magic Mouse, as well as like some of the older iPads and some of the classic iPads. But everything else has mostly moved to USB-C. And with the iPhone finally moving to USB-C, everything you see here can be plugged in and used in some way. So first of all, here is a charger for my Apple Watch. Now, I purchased this to plug into my iPad, and I also plug it into my MacBook, and I use it at work or when I'm traveling. So this is a great way to charge your Apple Watch on the go. I even sometimes stick it in my car on the USB-C port on the car. But now I can actually plug it into the bottom of my phone and charge my Apple Watch. Now, if you're an Android user, you're familiar with Samsung, they have reverse wireless charging where you can actually take your watch or earbuds and put them on the back part of your phone. Well, that works in a pinch, and it also does a great job when you're traveling or if you need to charge your earbuds or watch, but it does not charge very fast. This will charge your watch very fast, much faster than wireless charging will. And I think that if you are in the market for an iPhone and you're thinking about upgrading, this is the year to upgrade because of the USB-C port. Aside from the watch, you have options like this. So here is my Aura Ring charger that I normally bring a separate charging brick for. This also takes USB-C. So that means that I can also charge my ring, my smart ring, with my iPhone. I can also plug in my CF Express Type A adapter, dongle, if you will. And that is super clutch because I can now get footage right off of this Sony camera right into my phone. I can plug up and charge my Fuji camera. I can plug up a Samsung SSD, and I can record high resolution footage directly to this SSD from the iPhone. So if I want to take it off the iPhone and plug it into my computer, all I got to do is record it directly to this SSD. Now, this may not seem like a big deal to anyone here unless you're a content creator, a photographer, videographer. That is an example of where these phones have come so far that the content that you can shoot with this can now be quickly taken off and put into a larger workflow like a desktop computer or a MacBook, and you can now edit it in full resolution and the image looks amazing. So the next thing you can do is, here's my Deity lavalier mic. So let's just say you want to set your iPhone up for some type of podcast or live stream or anything. You can actually plug directly into the bottom of your iPhone and get high quality audio. So if you're a realtor, if you're a stylist or barber, or if you're any type of person where you're creating marketing for your business, the iPhone 15 in general, even the non-Pro models with the USB-C port, have opened up a lot of doors for you. Here's my AirPods Max that normally I would bring an extra lightning to USB-C cable. I can now plug this directly into the bottom of my iPhone using the same charger. Here's also a game controller that I can plug in to the bottom of the iPhone and actually play some games. And let me give you an example of that really quick because I think this is super cool. that I'm able to do this now. After all these years, I used to always use a Bluetooth connection to play with game controllers. And so being able to plug up and have a high latency, it almost makes me want to see if I can try to play like Street Fighter or something, or even FIFA, or it's called FC now. But games that require high latency gameplay, I think will be amazing to play on. So let's take a look at how this will play.
Yes, sir.
So that was Transistor. It's actually a PS4 game that came out several years ago, and I have not been able to really play it with a controller like this in a very long time. So being able to do that is really refreshing. There are a lot of games that are coming out, AAA title games like Resident Evil, Death Stranding, and some other games that are coming out for the iPhone 15 and 15 Pro. I think that if you are a gamer, now is the time to jump into the iPhone 15 because you can also plug this directly up to a monitor and play on a bigger screen if you need to. Last but not least, I want to tell you about Apple's sleeper product that I also feel like they should have put in the box with the new iPhones. So if you guys remember, they took out the charging brick from the iPhones, and I really think it's time for Apple to make a return of the earbuds. So this is $20 at the Apple Store. The USB-C earbuds, because it's going through USB-C, they actually sound really, really good. I don't know if they sound better than AirPods or the AirPods Pro, but if you need earbuds, I cannot recommend the Apple EarPods, the USB-C ones, enough. They sound amazing. They're actually pretty comfortable. I wish that they came out with like some sort of option for some rubber tips for these and maybe, charge another $10 or so, because they will. USB-C and these EarPods are amazing. Definitely check them out. If you are picking up the new iPhone, these are necessary, especially when you're dealing with AirPods and other types of connections. Wired is also better in most situations. So let's move on to the very next thing. I've talked long enough about USB-C. The very next reason why you should upgrade is the action button. So the action button replaces the silent lock switch. And I don't know if you have heard of Apple shortcuts, but the action button really takes shape when you use Apple shortcuts. So out of the box, you can do things with your action button like accessibility options, voice memo, magnifier, flashlight, camera, and also change the focus mode, and even do the typical silent mode that was always there. I use mine for shortcuts. Now, shortcuts is a app that is built into your iPhone that you can use to automate certain tasks and certain things that you want to do. So if you're like me and you do YouTube, I have a special shortcut that allows me to access all of my lights and everything that is in my office that is smart. If you are someone who likes to journal, I actually created a shortcut called New Day, and that takes me to my Notes app where my journal note is, and it actually puts my phone on Do Not Disturb, plays some soothing music, and lets me zone out and have some self-care and focus on myself. That's a really cool thing, because if you are someone who has a routine, maybe you listen to the news every morning, maybe you look at a certain article, or whatever you do, you can use shortcuts to automate some of these things and then activate them by using this one button. Another thing that I use it for is the train schedule. So I have the website shortcutted right here where the train schedule is. And if I need to see when a train is coming, I can quickly get to it. The other thing is the intercom option. This is a shortcut that is already created. So I can actually text my HomePod a message and it will broadcast it to the entire house. So here's an example. So I just sent the HomePod a text message.
This is a test broadcast YouTube.
You can use Siri to talk to the HomePods and tell it to say something, but it's a little slow. This feels like a lot quicker, and also you can type something out so you don't have to actually speak. So if I'm on a meeting at work and I need somebody to get to the door, I don't have to tell the HomePod to say something. I can just pull this up and say it. Very convenient. And again, that's very custom to me, but that is the benefit of shortcuts and the action button. Another shortcut that I created is called Good Night, and that shuts off all the lights in my house, locks all the doors, sets the thermostat, and then turns on a couple lights outside and gets the house ready for the night. Now, that is completely custom to my needs, but if you have any type of smart devices, you can sync it up with this and have it all controlled with your action button. So like I said, the action button can do a lot of things. No matter who you are and what your purpose is, you can always find a way to leverage the Shortcuts app and get what you need done through the action button. I highly recommend it. That alone, along with USB-C, are two great reasons to upgrade. The biggest question that I get from people who know that I had the 14 Pro Max is the battery life. Now, the battery life is not something that I can really speak on just yet. I've only had it for a week, but I will say that there is a new feature on the iPhone 15 called battery health and charging, and it allows you to charge optimization to 80% limit. Now, I use it and it seems to be working great. I like it for a couple of reasons. The first reason being that it makes me conserve battery and I'm not on my phone as much. The second reason is that the 80% charging limit will increase the battery health and the battery longevity over time. And it also charges to 100% every now and then to keep the battery cycle complete and make sure that your battery is healthy. So I'm trying to figure out if there's a shortcut that maybe I can do where it charges to 100% when I'm in a certain location. Like maybe if I'm at work, I want it to charge to 100%, but when I'm at home, I want it to charge to 80%. That's the customization that you now have with the iPhone with this new feature, Shortcuts, and the action button. Pretty cool. Now, there's been some talk about heat and things like that with the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max. Personally, I have not experienced anything out of the ordinary. I've had every single iPhone every year, and every year I've had that typical error message that comes up saying that my iPhone is too hot and I have to wait for it to cool down. That typically happens when I have it in direct sunlight. It actually happened to me while I was driving and I had GPS going, Bluetooth going, the phone was in direct sunlight, and the error message came up. There's been plenty of reports of people who are experiencing various degrees, pun intended, of heat issues. Personally, I haven't experienced it, but I think that if you are someone who keeps your phone caseless, you might need to be a little concerned about how hot the phone may get during heavy usage. Last but not least, some concerns that I have is about the screen. It's not really a big deal if you are someone who does not use a screen protector and you know what comes along with that. But if you are someone who needs a screen protector and is very rough on phones, I highly recommend you get one because the coating that is over the glass is very sensitive to micro scratches. I've gotten a couple already in just my first week, but that's my fault. I'm used to doing it and I know that it's gonna happen. I don't mind it because I know it's not a deep scratch that I can catch with my fingernail. But like I said, if it bothers you, get a screen protector and you'll be good. That has been my week with the iPhone 15 Pro. You're probably wondering why I didn't talk about the camera and some of the other features that have come out with this phone. Dynamic Island isn't new to me, but I will talk about those things in a full review. For now, I just wanted to focus on my thoughts and things that I knew for sure that I wanted to share with you after 1 week. So if you've hung around this long, I really appreciate it. Definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and leave me a comment about what you're most excited about with these new iPhones. And even tell me what iPhone that you're currently rocking and if you plan to upgrade. I think that this is a great option for anyone out there. If you have a 14, I probably wouldn't recommend upgrading just yet, maybe wait for next year. But if you have an older iPhone, maybe 12 or older, definitely look at the 15. I think it's about that time you make an upgrade. Appreciate you watching. Stay up.